The performance begins at Parkland Walk North at Cranley Gardens near Muswell Hill Road. The audience group are greeted by a performer who is in costume and character of a Victorian station master. His job is to welcome the group and invite them to be seated in the waiting room area, while preparations are made for the journey. In this area there is an information sign giving brief history of the site where the guided walk takes place. Then the station master leads them down the steps towards Muswell Hill Road railway bridge, onto the platform to await the start of the journey. Under the railway bridge is an installation that represents a Victorian railway engine shed. The installation uses sound moving image projection with relevant props on the ground. It also features 3 live performers interacting with this installation. After about 5 minutes, the noise dies down, leaving only the sound of steam train arriving at the platform where the audience are standing. This signals the end of the installation. From under the railway bridge emerges the guide for the walk, who is dressed as a Victorian train conductor, flamboyantly waving to the audience group and signals them to join him. The guide begins to lead the audience along the route for the guided walk. Throughout the walk, he will be describing the journey through the eyes of a Victorian traveller and be presenting a performance travelogue.
Welcome all. The opening of railways across the land now give the people of this fine country great freedoms to explore its history and hear thrilling tales to match. No longer do you need to spend many days travelling uncomfortably by road, but you can enjoy the views from a comfort of a railway carriage pulled by a powerful steam locomotive. We are now travelling towards the brand new Alexandra Palace for the grand fete. During the journey you will discover interesting sights and tales, and I'm sure you will have many questions about this magnificent railway line on the way to our destination. Now let me explain to you a little about this most modern means of travel. The permanent way upon which the wheels of this train run comprises iron rails cast in the foundries of South Wales. These rest upon dormant timbers, sleepers, made from strong wood imported from Sweden through our capital city's docks. The locomotive itself burns British coal, which heats water into steam, creating the power of many horses to pull this train.
The guide stops the group and points to the railway sleepers along the side of the path, and the accompanying sign which describes the construction of the railway.
Of course, none of this would have come to pass without the efforts of a considerable number of navvies, whose physical labour with picks, shovels and wheelbarrows levelled the trackbed and built stations, bridges and tunnels. Yes, I know that these people are well known for their drinking, but we mustn't forget their achievements, obtained by sheer hard work in dangerous conditions.
At regular intervals along the side of the path, there are live male performers dressed as signalmen or railway policemen carrying out their duties with their flags and whistles. Further along, the group approach St James's Viaduct.
We will pause now while the engine stops to take on water for the rest of the journey.
He then takes the group down the steps under this viaduct and shows them the full view of the structure.
What a fine structure! This is St James's Viaduct, constructed from bricks made from local clay and fired in a kiln nearby in St James's Lane. This viaduct was a significant cost in the construction of the railway and is essential for your journey to continue to the People's Palace. You'll see that no expense was spared for this grand palace with its considerable architectural beauty in the Italianate style.
A whistle is sounded, signalling that the train is ready to depart once again. The group are then taken back up onto the viaduct. Partway across the viaduct, the audience is shown the view across London. At this point on the viaduct, there are 2 live female performers dressed as middle-class Victorian women who are describing the view of green fields in front of them, which no longer exist today. This helps the audience imagine London before it became such an urban environment. The guide takes the group further along the path, where there are 2 more live female performers, this time dressed in the character of working-class women, who are putting flowers on display at the side of the path. The performers are in conversation about the flower show at Alexandra Palace and describing the palace's magnificence. They mention that the Great Northern Railway Company most liberally consented to the display of these flowers at any station on the line free of charge. To advertise the grand public fete, Just before the green underpass, there is an information board telling the history of Alexandra Palace in more detail.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your comfort and safety, you may wish to cover your mouths, and please do not lean out of the carriage windows.
At the other side of the tunnel, a new guide appears, dressed in a modern-day suit and carrying a clipboard.
Don't be surprised. In passing through the tunnel you have moved forward in time. Sadly, the railway has been dismantled, a victim of falling passenger numbers and other more convenient modes of transport. Now, all that remains are the features that you saw on your journey. But happily, due to the dedication of many local people, the route along which you have just travelled was opened as a linear green walkway in 1984. And, of course, what has endured is the beauty of Alexandra Palace and Park, and I invite you to continue your journey with a short walk into the park itself.
The new guide comes out of character and the previous guide joins him and encourages the audience to ask any questions they have about what they've heard or seen and are directed towards Alexandra Palace.